Welcome to Fireside Chats with the GOAT, starring the GOAT.
Alright, this is a story of me going 108 miles an hour down Ripplemead Bridge. Alright, so one night I decided to take a girl out riding and just hanging out. Alright. So I go and pick her up, and last thing you know, her friend has to come along for some odd reason. So that was a major cock block. So I take my ex and her friend out for a little joyride, and just like all teenagers are going to do, they always want to show off in front of the girls and shit like that any way they possibly can. So I have the I ain't gonna lie, I have the biggest ego in Giles High School. Like literally, my nickname says it all. So back to the story. So me and her was just driving around, having fun, and then last thing you know, I get the biggest, brightest idea of going fast down Ripplemead Bridge. So when I was going down Ripplemead Bridge, I thought to myself, just go pedal to the middle. Alright, so what I didn't notice was there was a cop on the other side of Ripplemead Bridge. So about 5 or 10 minutes after I done what I did, I saw blue lights. And I thought to myself, holy shit. I didn't think he was coming after me. I thought he was just going off somewhere else. Last thing you know, he pulls in right behind me, and I think to myself, I'm gonna be in the biggest shitstorm of my entire life. Alright, so he pulls me over, and I pull over on the side of the road. So I get pulled over. The cop comes to the car and says, "You're going a little fast, weren't you?" And I said, "Yes, sir, I was." And he says, I clocked you going at 108 miles an hour. And I just looked at him like, wow, dude, I can't believe I just did what I just did. So he tells me to get out of the car, or he's going to take me straight to the juvenile detention center in Christiansburg. He's going to take me across the mountain. So I get out of the car, and he searches me for drugs, and just like I expected, he didn't find a damn thing. So me and him was just talking in the police car. He was just asking me why I did what I did. I was told him I was just showing off, being an idiot. Alright, and then I go back to the car, and here she is having a damn panic attack because she doesn't like cops. So after that, after all that happened, her mom came and got her and took her home, and her friend as well. And apparently, just like I thought, you know, her mom thinks I'm a lunatic now. So I get 2 tickets, one for going 108 miles an hour, and the other one for having too many underage passengers in the car.
So what was the speed limit again when you went 168?
I went 108 over 65. I was going 43 miles over the speed limit. If I was 18 years old, I would have had to spend 46 days in the regional in Dublin. But lucky enough, the timing was right in a sense. So, me being nervous and all, for the court date and everything, I just decided to have fun, you know, enjoy riding around for 2 weeks until I knew I was going to get my license suspended either which way, but I didn't know I'd be going to the juvenile detention center. So I go to court, and I just tell her what happened, the whole story and everything. Even the officer put in a good work for me, telling me I was a good kid, I was making good grades in high school. I make literally just nothing but good words came about me. So she wanted to make an example out of me. She just looked at me and said, "You're going to spend that month, you're going to spend today and 2 weekends in the Christiansburg Juvenile Detention Center." And I'm telling you what, this is any human being. When a judge tells you you're going to jail, like your heart is going to drop. So
Shane, come over here and get this blue burst.
I'm in my. I go to the holding cell in the at the courthouse until they took me to the Christiansburg detention center. So they I waited in that holding cell for about 20 minutes until I got a cellmate in there, which so that guy's going to jail for a very long time. So I get to the juvenile detention center after they cuffed me and stuffed me into the back of a police car, and they take me to the juvenile detention center. And I get to the juvenile detention center. Last thing you know, I'm in here with a bunch of retards. Honestly, that's exactly what the hell they were, because they didn't know right from wrong or nothing. I mean, seriously, they was just idiots. You can tell by the way they was talking. You can tell by the way. You could just. It was terrible. I mean, seriously, it's like talking to a
Shane,
brick wall
run,
with them.
or your bush is gonna get taken off.
So I spent that day in there, and then I got out the very next morning at 6:00 p.m. So I had straight to school. I had to go straight to school because I didn't have enough time to change or anything. So what I wore to court that day, that day before, I had to wear at school the very next day. So the week goes along, I go to school and everything, and then I had to go back to the juvenile detention center that week. So I spent the entire weekend there, and I'm telling you what, I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy to be up there. And it may sound like a daycare because some of the shit they do up there, but I'm telling you what, if you stay in your holding cell long enough, you're going to be crazy. So as I always try to do, I try to keep my composure. I just do what the guards tell me to do, and that's all there is to it. And pretty much same thing goes for the very next weekend. I had to go, and as soon as I got out, I was very happy. As soon as I got out, my phone was literally blown up with messages saying, "Shane, are you out? Shane, are you okay?" All kinds of shit. I actually had a text from Jordan McGuire saying if he actually wanted me to go down to KJ with him. But here's the thing, the text was at 2 p.m. and I got out that day at 6 o'clock. And here's a very funny story. The very last day that I had to serve, I actually got caught sharing personal information with an inmate. And I had to spend the rest of the day in my holding cell. So I had to spend 10 hours in pretty much a 10x6 holding cell until my mom got there to come and get me. So I spent 10 hours in there.
Was it personal information about yourself, or?
No, he just wrote down like his Snapchat name and his parents' phone number, so that way when he gets out, me and he can hang out. But that ain't gonna happen because I don't want to be around trouble. He's been in and out of juvie ever since he was 7 years old, so hell no. So I get out of jail. Well, that's pretty much what it's called, is jail. As soon as I get out or whatever.
Holy crap, dude! There's a base up there.
I'm very happy to see my mother right there in front of me. You know, as a Little Caesars pizza. I'm telling you what, I ate that son of a bitch like it wasn't no tomorrow. Is there anything else you want to know to the story? Honestly.
Well, we do have a few questions submitted by the viewers.
I'd love to hear it.
Did you have any accidents where you dropped the soap?
No. That's usually the most common question asking, but no, nothing happened while I was in there.
So you didn't have any?
No, I never got butt-plugged. No.
Black slongs go into your butthole.
No.
Okay.
Any more questions?
What did your parents have to say when they first found out that you were going 108 and 65?
Well, I called my mom after the whole incident happened, after they picked up the parents, and I called my mom and I said, Mom, I gotta tell you something. And she was like, Shane, what? What happened? And I said, Mom, I got a ticket. And she was like, Shane, what did you do? And I said, Mom, I went 108 over 65 over Rippermead Bridge. I'm telling you what, when I told her that, dude, I'm telling you what, I've never seen my mom more pissed off and more shocked in my entire life. So as soon as I got home, where she was just speechless, she didn't know what to say to me. And my dad was the same exact way too.
All right, you had beside me, and I'll hide in this bush while you finish the story.
But go on. Is there any more questions you would like to ask?
So, did he say anything to you about what the fastest speed he's ever clocked was in the state of Virginia or something like that?
Well, the state trooper that pulled me over, he said that the fastest he's ever clocked was this guy going 90 in a 55, or going 90 in a 65 or something like that. I wasn't really paying attention. I was too worried about the situation I was in. And he said, I'm like, this is the fastest a miner has ever went in the state of Virginia. And I thought to myself, man, I actually set a record. And it's, I pretty much like, I mean, like, that's crazy. That what I did, I mean, like, I wish I had a time machine so I could go back and change what I did. I'm like, I'm telling you what, if you want to impress a girl, just whoop out your cock and just show it to her, seriously, because it ain't worth going that fast. So, I learned my lesson on showing off, and like, it ain't worth it.
Just hide right there, Shane, since you're a bush. Just stop and crouch.
Is there any more questions you would like to ask?
I think that's about it. Anything else you'd like to add?
I'm telling you what, no matter how hot your girlfriend is, no matter how bad you want to impress her, if you ever want to impress a woman, just talk to her. Don't even worry. I understand your actions speak louder than words, but if a girl don't like you for who you are, then they can go fuck themselves, honestly. So, I'm telling you what, for any teenager out here that's going anywhere over the speed limit, I'm telling you, it is not worth it. It ain't at any point during time. I'm telling you what, I wouldn't go that fast if my mom and my dad was having a heart attack at the same time. Straight up, I would not do it. I'd go the speed limit. It's not worth it.
I do have one more question, actually.
What's the question, man?
Who was the first person you called when you realized you had done guffed up?
The first person I called was my mother, and the next time I called, it was you. And
what'd you say to your mom the first time?
I told her exactly what I told you. I told her about what happened and everything like that. To beat it all, I mean, like, he let me go on my own recognizance, which is very unusual. I mean, like, that's never
So
happened.
after all that, he let you drive home?
He let me drive home after I committed a crime, as they say. He let me drive on my own all the way home, and I was like, I might as well enjoy the license while I had it. So, I mean, like, what's really weird now is that ever since I've lost my license, people's been hitting me up, especially women, to go hang out with him. I don't know if it's a coincidence or whether they're just teasing me or just pissing me off, but ever since I had my license, I literally had nothing to do. Everybody was busy, everybody had shit to do. Ever since I lost my license, everybody is just free, like a bird being let out of a cage.
Wow.
So, my advice to anybody, even adults, even teenagers, do not just go the speed limit, because I'm telling you what, It's not worth paying reinstatement fees. It's not worth paying all them fines. It's not worth it. Oh yeah, the punishment that I got out, all that. I had to spend 2 weekends in the juvenile detention center. I have 100 hours of community service, and I have my license suspended for 6 months. So I don't get my license back until August.
So how much of that have you finished?
0 right now, but I'm hopefully to get them finished soon, so that way I'll be able to play travel baseball. Like, that would be great if I had them finished in time, so that way my summer ain't ruined over something stupid that I've done. So yeah, that's the whole story. And if there's any questions you would like to ask, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Oh shit, dude.
Damn, well, we almost got the W.
And I hope Rachel knows I was playing Fortnite right now.